So I just finished reading Runes, Ruin, and Redemption, as well as the rest of the Stallion Ridge series, and I have some thoughts. So first of all, I think this is a really fun series. I think the idea of a Western cowboy gunslinging adventure story that features mythical creatures is really fun, and I always love a good romance novel. So everything about this series kind of appealed to me. I like Maz Maddox's other works, so I was really excited to read this. And when I got to Runes, Ruin, and Redemption, which is a good way into the series, and realized that it was actually a polyamorous love story, I was so excited. It's not that easy to find good, well-written polyamorous romance novels, and I was really, really pleased by how the book itself ended and how their story went in the book that they were featured in. I really liked Lucas, Seb, and Elliot. I liked getting to know them and see their stories and watch how they all fell in love with each other and how they supported each other. It was great to see all of them recovering from their pasts and helping each other and growing into better people. And I really liked the overall message in this series that you can recover from your past. Just because you've done bad things doesn't mean you can't choose to become a good person. And especially in Seb's character, that was really, really well portrayed, of someone who's made bad choices, who's done bad things, and has decided to still go out into the world and be a good person in spite of all that and try to make up for some of the harm you've done in your past. And I loved the way things ended for them in the book Runes, Ruin, and Redemption. I loved getting to see them all go back to Stallion Ridge and live a happy life, supporting each other and trying to make the world a better place. And I was just so happy for them. And then I was so mad at the way the overall book series ended. So this is a gunslinging Wild West series. There's lots of shootouts, there's lots of threats of death, but there aren't that many actual deaths. There's one death of a side character who you think is going to be a love interest, and that's shocking. And then in the very last book, there's this big, massive shootout. Everyone fights, all the couples we've seen fall in love with each other fight, and only one person dies. And it made me so mad that the one person who died was the person from the polyamorous relationship. Because these are romance novels, so the rule of romance novels is people have to live happily ever after. We can't split up the happy couples. Maybe you could have both people in a happy couple die, though it's a romance novel. They wouldn't even do that. But because this was a throuple, they thought, okay, it's fine to kill off this one character and the other two can still support each other. And that just bothers me so much, because it's like saying that their three-person relationship was somehow less meaningful than all the two-person relationships. And that Seb was just an extra person, he didn't really matter that much, and they'll still grieve him, but they'll go on and live a happy life. They wouldn't have dared killed off Jesse or Cody or someone who left their partner completely alone. But because Seb had two partners and they could still support each other, he was allowed to die. And I can sort of see why they picked Seb, because he was going through a lot of pain and it made sense for him to not have to deal with stuff anymore. But at the same time, that is such a cop-out, because he was the one who was a recovering alcoholic. He had all these horrible memories he was recovering from, and him going on to lead a happy, fulfilling life would have really brought home that message of redemption and turning your life around and finding a way to build a better life for yourself, find love and support, build a community. But instead, it's the recovering alcoholic in a throuple gets to die. So he doesn't have to keep working to keep struggling with his alcoholism and seeing if he can still fight every day to lead a good life. He doesn't get to build this happy life with his partners who he just got together with 2 books ago. So he's barely had a half a second to be happy with them. He's just dead right away. And if other people had died, if other couples had been broken up, it wouldn't have been bothered me so much, because, maybe it's the kind of high stakes story where people have to die, but it felt like the author was consciously making a choice to say, I'm not going to break up any couples, but I'm fine breaking up the throuple. So I was really happy to see a polyamorous relationship and see a happy throuple, but I was so disappointed that they didn't get to live happily ever after like all the couples did.